Hello, my name is China and I'm the founder of ArtistAnd. Recently, I went on a trip to Vietnam and I set myself a challenge to draw a picture every day and to see what would happen, both emotionally and practically. And it's quite interesting what the results were because I thought maybe I'd spend loads of time on, getting some really refined drawings and some masterpieces, and I thought I'd be drawing from life all the time, but actually, it was a mixture of drawing from my head and drawing from life. Sometimes you don't have time to do both, but it was really great just to play around and have fun with drawing because, as an art teacher and instructor, I don't often get to draw art for me, but this made me give some time back to myself. I was drawing what I wanted to draw, and I was also drawing some stuff that I didn't want to draw, but I felt like I had to. And seeing the results of them kind of made me relax, to be honest. I was like, do you know what? It's just a sketch, it's just a visual diary of the trip, and I don't need to worry too much. So I wanted to share with you what happened, what I drew, and I hope it inspires you to do your own sketchbook. So let's have a look. So, if you are going to do something like this, I'd recommend just getting yourself a book that you, first of all, really enjoyed the look of on the outside. So, I got this book which fit in my handbag perfectly, and it meant I could take it to dinner or just to wherever we were going to chill out. So, really, really nice little book from W.H. Smith. Now, the first drawing I did was on the plane, and I took a picture of the plane before I got on. It was quite nice actually because this was helping me figure out how to shade with the pen, just to remind myself how to get some dark bits and some light bits. And I also I put a lot of pressure on myself as well because I was like, this is the first drawing in the book, has to look good. And I wanted to make sure that it was in the right place and the handwriting was okay. And I'm really bad at handwriting, so I think I got away with it. But it was fun. It was the first one that I did. So Vietnam done. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So this one was actually a view from the window when I was queuing up for the toilet. Um, Someone said to me, "Is that an acorn?" And I was like, "Shit, which part of it looks like an acorn?" I don't know. It could have been that, or it could be this thing that almost looks like a tooth as well. But really, it's the wing of the plane and this amazing like glow in the sky that it had. And you'll see the picture just here. So quite different. But clouds are really difficult to do. So I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the shading until someone said it looks like an acorn. Um, oh well, live and learn. So moving on. This one was from my head. So we went to a place called Pulong, and it was a stunning. Oh, I'm lying. No, Botanical Gardens, 60p. Sorry, we went to a park, and there was lots of amazing, amazing trees and plants, and yeah, I just wanted to capture some of the leaves, especially these massive banana ones. But I didn't attach the leaf very well to the tree, so in my own personal judgment, I'm a little bit disappointed, but the rest of it, it's fine. Um, this is when we went to Pulong, and this is when I worked from my head. Now, I was unsure whether I wanted to do drawings where I was working from my head. And this was the first one I was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that again. Because the perspective of the car, it's as if we've had a crash on a motorway. I was quite pleased with the perspective on here and the trees and the people, but then I drew this car and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, why didn't I just draw it better? Like, I would have been able to do this way better, but I just did not. So a little bit disappointing, but actually, I think it was a good one to learn from and think, well, you just need to plan a little bit better rather than rushing a drawing for the sake of it. And they don't all have to be perfect. I think that was the main thing I took from this, is that they don't have to be perfect. And it's more about the story rather than the drawing itself, because here it was a 4 hour drive and we were going down the motorway and the car just decided to slow down and stop in a random place on the motorway for half an hour. So that was a little bit annoying and also a bit scary because we didn't speak the same language, so we had no idea what was going on. So I really wanted to capture that in a drawing because of the event that day. But on the way, there was a few more things that I really wanted to draw. The mountains that you saw were just insane. They were these weird, weird shapes. Like I've never seen mountains with these peaks before. And the way they just kind of sit back in the horizon was stunning. And the pictures, the photographs don't do them justice as much. So I'm really hoping when I get more time, hopefully over the festive season, I'll be able to do a painting of some of these because they were just mind blowing. And the what's the word? The not dust. And the mist between the layers and the different versions of grey as it comes forward and it gets darker the more forward it is. It was just stunning. So I really, really love doing these drawings and making all these lines and trying to play with tone with a pen. Really, really fun. So I loved doing these. Not so much on that one. But here, this was a really gorgeous fern, and you can see at the end that it was still growing and still unraveling. So I thought that was a really beautiful plant, and I just loved the way that they twisted and turned. So this page was more like a study rather than like a piece of art. And it was just so nice to try and practice these gradients with the pen and get the twists of the leaves. Rather than having to worry about the whole picture. It was nice just to draw an object. And I love drawing plants. I love plants. Well, after my disaster on the motorway, I thought, right, let's draw from your head again. And I drew bun chow, which was a dish local to Hanoi. And it was so, so delicious, but very hard to draw. So I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. Just have fun. Draw some squiggly sausages inside the bowl. Draw a really awful salad. And try and get some cylinders to look like spring rolls. But it was fine. You know what? I was getting more and more used to not having to stress too much. And then I drew me and Sanjay in a kayak from my head, which I was quite pleased with. I was like, oh, yeah, I nailed that one. When me and Sanjay share equipment like this, we tend to fall out. It's the only time we really have an argument is when we share equipment. So, good memory because we did not fall out. There he is. Right, this page, I actually really enjoyed this one. So this was a mixture from my head, from pictures as well, and from being there. So I started drawing it when I was there. And then I did a lot of it from my head. So just the placement of the food and these ones I drew in front of me. And actually, like through here was a really, really busy street scene. And I was like, no way am I drawing hundreds of mopeds and streetlights and people. I'll just leave that empty. Keep it easy. But I really love drawing this picture. I really love these lanterns. They were everywhere in Vietnam. And it just made this night really beautiful. And the food was insane. So I wanted to do a good job here. And I'm pretty pleased with that one. So yeah. Moving on, when we went to Ninh Binh, it was pissing it down. And Sanjay had a poncho. So I just did this very quick sketch of us getting absolutely drenched, which was very stressful. But then the next day we met a guy called Peter. We had a few too many drinks and ended up on his motorcycle, all three of us, which I'm pretty sure is dangerous and illegal. Probably not illegal actually in Vietnam, but it was very good fun. And again, not super serious, the drawing, but it captures the memory very nicely. Where do we go next? Oh yeah, so we hired our own motorbike. And this was from my head as well, and I quite like the illustration feel of it, which usually I don't. But yeah, I think I'm loosening up. Maybe this trip helped me relax. This one was the Mua Hang walk, which had nearly 500 steps, and well, fuck me if I'm going to draw 500 steps. So, again, not my best drawing, but it just symbolizes all the steps. And I was quite happy with the perspective of the stairs. I'm just not going to draw 456 of them. Right, so we move on to Hoi An. On the way, we take an overnight train, which I was not a big fan of, so I did not want to spend too much time drawing this. I was very high up, close to the aircon, which froze me to death. And we also had two people already sleeping on the ground. So, yeah, very cold night for me. Very, very long journey. But Hoi An itself was stunning. So I spent a lot of time on this one because it was so beautiful. And there were all these lanterns and on the boats in the river, and you could see all these reflections in the water. You had people selling these lanterns and candles to make prayers or thoughts, which are unsustainable, so I didn't get one, but it looked really nice. And yeah, I'm really pleased. I did draw this from my head. So as you can see, I do get better. The more I practice it, the more time I spend in it, the more I really enjoy that scene or that event, the better the drawing comes out. So very pleased with this one. It was a really stunning place. I think there's not many left, but this one, very happy with this one as well. We were in a restaurant and they had a wall of lanterns and there were all these amazing different shapes, and I just love the patterns of them and the way that they curve and the way that the lighting just kind of is a gradient towards the middle and just cascades down them. And yeah, really, really beautiful. And I was so antisocial at that meal, but well worth it. I mean, look. Yeah, really, really enjoyed that one. I think we're nearly there, yeah. So this day we went on a cooking class on a bamboo boat, so that was loads of fun. And again, I did this from my head. I'm quite pleased with how it looks and the shading and the detailing. I think it's fairly accurate. The river or the sea is a little bit shite. But again, it doesn't matter. I think I definitely got to a point where it's like, what do I want to portray? What do I want to show? Ooh, and then it looks like I've drawn no more. But yeah, overall it was a great trip. And I actually really, really loved having something to do along the way that wasn't scrolling through my phone or reading, because I can't read very well. So having a book to draw or pictures to think about and to try and capture something from the day that was really special, and then to put that into my book was really, really lovely. So if you do go away, I would highly recommend that you take a little drawing book, just take a pen or even a pencil, and just spend 10 to 20 minutes a day doing some drawing, and a little bit more time on it if you're traveling on train or aeroplane, because it's so worth it to look back at your journey through drawn pictures that you've done by your hand. Is really, really satisfying and did wonders for my mental health. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that inspires you to draw your own sketchbook diary. I've been China. Thanks so much, and have a great day.